Shalom to the elect of Israel. Shalom to you Hebrew Israelites. Gotta give our praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, who teach well, and a sincere salutation to all the Akim pushing this truth throughout the four winds of the earth, waking up the hope of the elect. Shalom to the Outwalk for our listening and learning. I'm Isaiah, coming to another lesson in truth, facts, faith, and edification. And the title of this lesson, Make No Covenant with the Heathen Nations. Make no covenant with the heathens or with their gods. Because our people always following the ways of Esau, Edom, and the other heathen nations, man. Our people are always following the ways of heathens, like celebrating Christmas and Thanksgiving and all these other pagan holidays. St. Patrick's Day, okay, celebrating your birthday. And that's the topic that I'm on with this lesson about Jakes, you 12 tribes of Israel that celebrate your birthdays, okay, and all these other pagan holidays. But mainly this is about Jake celebrating their birthdays. It's a small thing to speak on, but it's still part of the scriptures. And we do not supposed to do it because Israelites didn't celebrate their birthdays. Okay? The only mention of celebrating birthdays is with Job and his son, Job's sons and daughters celebrated their birthdays. So they just a little short lesson going into this paganism of celebrating these holidays, mainly your birthday, because it's wicked. And Jake always want to follow the ways of these heathens, man. They always want to follow the ways of these heathens. We in the land of our captivity. The same thing happened when we came out of Egypt. We saw these different Hamites, these Canaanites, and we wanted to do what they was doing, man. We wanted to follow their gods and worship their gods and all the other god and all the other gods of captivity. Salakia had to grab my apocrypha. But Jake always want to follow the customs of the heathen nations, man. This is First Maccabees chapter 1, verse 11. And it read, in those days went there out of Israel wicked men who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us. For since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow. So this device pleased them well. Then certain of the people were so forward herein that they went to the king who gave them licenses to do after the ordinances of the heathen. Okay? In those days went there out of Israel wicked men who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us. And that's what Israel's still doing today, man. Making a covenant with these heathens, man. Okay? This is Exodus chapter 23, verse 32. Thus thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor with their gods. You shall make no covenant with who? The heathen nations that are round about you, man. Okay, and making covenant with the heathen is what, man? Voting. Okay? The Lord said make no covenant with them or their gods, man. And what does Jake do? The same thing that the Lord tell him not to do, man. Okay? Because it tell you that in Proverbs, wisdom is too high for a fool, man. Okay? Jake ain't gonna listen, man. This is Proverbs. See if I can find it real quick. Proverbs 13 and verse 13. Whoso despiseth the word shall be destroyed, but he that feareth the commandment shall be rewarded. The law of the wise is a fountain of life. To depart, it said to depart Salaki, to depart from the snares of death. Salaki, let me read this. Read this in my other sword real quick. Proverbs 13:13. Whoso despiseth the word shall be destroyed, but he that feareth the commandment shall be rewarded. The law of the wise is a fountain of life, to depart from the snares of death. Okay? To depart from the snares of death, man. Following the commandments of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah, man. Point blank, period. So this is Ecclesiasticus chapter 7 and 1. Because Jake would not stop following the ways of these heathens, man. And just because we are in the land of our captivity, round about these heathens, that don't mean we supposed to do what they're doing, man. Ecclesiasticus chapter 7 verse 1. Do no evil, so shall no harm come unto thee. Depart from the unjust, and iniquity shall turn away from thee. Now, let me go check this one in Ecclesiastes. Ecclesiastes chapter 7 verse 1. A good name is better than precious ointment, and the day of death than the day of one's birth. And the day of death than the day of one's birth. Telling you, you're not supposed to be celebrating no birthdays, man. Because that's my point of this lesson about celebrating birthdays. Because Jake want to celebrate their birthday, man. Jake get ready for the year to celebrate their birthday, man. So I'm finna get some precepts on that. And I'm going to show you that these heathen customs, like birthdays, come from the heathens, man. This is Matthew chapter 14. And I'm going to start at 1 just to get, so you can get the point. So you can get the understanding. Matthew 14 and 1. At that time, Herod the Tetrarch heard of the fame of Yahushua, and said unto his servants, this is John the Baptist. He is risen from the dead, and therefore mighty works do show forth themselves in him. For Herod had laid hold on John, and bound him, and put him in prison for Herodias' sake, his brother, Philip's wife. For John said unto him, it is not lawful for thee to have her, meaning have his brother's wife, man, because that was adultery. So he had to lock John the Baptist up, man. And when he would have put him to death, he feared the multitude because they counted him as a prophet. But when Herod's birthday was kept, it said, but when Herod, this is Matthew 14 and 6. But when Herod's birthday was kept, the daughter of Herodias danced before him and pleased Herod. So this is, Herod was an Edomite, man, okay? Come from Herodians, man. When you do your research, they was Edomites, man, okay? This is an Edomite's custom, man. So, Salaki, Herod celebrated his birthday, man. Just like all the other heathens, okay? The Romans, the Greeks, they all did the same thing, man. This is a custom of the heathens, man. All the way back to these Hamites, okay? These are Moabites. These Ammonites, these Amalekites, they all keep these heathens, man. These are heathens of these are customs of heathen nations, man. Verse 6, Matthew chapter 14, verse 6. But when Herod's birthday was kept, the daughter of Herodias danced before him and pleased Herod. So that's, I'm just showing you that this is the custom of the heathens, man. Okay? You don't hear about Isaiah and Jeremiah, and you don't hear about Job. You don't hear about Matthew, Mark, John, Luke, Paul. They ain't celebrate their birthdays, man. This is a wicked day, man. So now, let's deal with Job. This is Job chapter 1. And I'm going to start at verse 5. Actually, I'm going to start at verse 4. I'm going to start at 1 and get to the, so you can understand. There was a man in the land of Uz whose name was Job. And that man was perfect and upright and one that feareth God. And eschewed evil. And there were born unto him 7 sons and 3 daughters. His substance also was 7,000 sheep and 3,000 camels and 500 yoke of oxen and 500 she-asses and a very great household. So that this man was the greatest of all the men of the east. And this is the point. And his sons went and feasted in their house, every one on his day. What does it mean when it says everyone on his day? Meaning their birthdays. And sent and called for their 3 sisters to eat and drink with them. And it was so, when the days of their feasting were gone about, that Job sent and sanctified them, and rose up early in the morning, and offered burnt offerings according to the number of them all. So all 7 of his sons and the 3 daughters sinned, man, because they were celebrating their birthday. I'm reading it again. That Job sent and sanctified them, and rose up early in the morning and offered burnt offerings according to the number of them all. For Job said, it may be that my sons have sinned and cursed God in their hearts. Thus did Job continually. It say, thus did Job continually, man, because his sons and daughters kept celebrating their birthdays, man, over and over and over, man, every year, faithfully, man. Okay? Thus Job did continually, man, sending up burnt offerings and sacrifices, man, to the Lord, because he said, what? It may be that my sons have sinned and cursed Yahweh, man, in their hearts. Thus did Job continually, man. So his sons sinned for celebrating their birthdays and their sisters, man. Okay? His sons and daughters sinned celebrating their birthdays, man. It's wicked. Now this is Job chapter 3 and verse 1. After this opened Job his mouth and cursed his day. And Job spake and said, let the day perish wherein I was born. Let the day perish wherein I was born, and the night in which it was said, there is a man-child conceived. Let that day be darkness. Let not God regard it from above. Neither let the light shine upon it. Let darkness and shadow of death stain it. Let a cloud dwell upon it. Let the blackness of the day terrify it. And for that night, let darkness seize upon it. Let it not be joined unto the days of the year. Let it not come into the number of the months. Okay? Lo, let that night be solitary. Let no joyful voice come therein. Let them curse it that curse the day, who are ready to raise up their mourning. What they talking about, man? Everybody love when they birthday, they the day before the birthday, man. They celebrating birthday eve, man. Okay, that's wicked, man. This is Job. A matter of fact, I'm gonna keep reading. They say, "Let the stars of the twilight thereof be dark. Let it look for light, but have none. Neither let it see the dawning of the day, because it shut not up the doors of my mother's womb, nor hid sorrow from my eyes. Why died I not from the womb? Why did I not give up the ghost when I came out of the belly?" Because, hey, man, it's so wicked. It's wicked to celebrate your birthday, man. Point blank, period. This is Job 8 in verse 18, and it reads, let's see. Oh no, wrong precept. Let's see. That shit is. Man, right. So this is Job 8 and 20. It said, "Behold, God will not cast away a perfect man, neither will he help the evildoers." So almost 19, Job 8 and 19. "Behold, this is the joy of his way, and out of the earth shall others grow." Verse 20, "Behold, power will not cast away a perfect man, neither will he help evildoers." So Job in verse 3, he was saying, why died I, Job 3 and 18, why died I not from the womb? Why did I not give up the ghost when I came out of the belly? Because Job, hey, Job made me want to come back, man. Job didn't want to come back, man. Because he knew that, he tell you in Job, I think it's let me see, it might be Job 14. Said lock you. Oh yeah, Job 14 and 13. "Oh, that thou wouldest hide me in the grave, that thou wouldest keep me secret until the wrath be past. That thou wouldest appoint me a set time and remember me. If a man die, shall he live again? All the days of my appointed time will I wait till my change come." And this is reincarnation. "Thou shalt call, and I will answer thee. Thou wilt have a desire to the work of thine hand. For now thou numbers my steps. Doest thou not watch over my sins?" So in another verse, Job was saying how he said righteous wickedness and sin was there, man. That we all come back for judgment. So Job understood, man, that reincarnation is in the Bible, man. He knew that we come back, man. I'm trying to find it. Okay, here it go. Job chapter 4 and verse 7. Remember, I pray thee, whoever perished, being innocent, or what were the righteous cut off? Even as I have seen, they that plow iniquity and sow wickedness reap the same. By the blast of God they perish, and by the breath of his nostrils are they consumed. So Job understood, man, when you come back wicked, man, okay, a wicked man gonna receive a wicked man's reward, man. So in Job 8 and 20, no, Job 8 and 19, behold, this is the joy of his ways, and out of the earth shall others grow. Behold, God would not cast away a perfect man, neither will he help the evildoers. So Job understood, man, that when you come back, man, you got to pay for what you did in your previous life. He understood that. That's why he said, let the day, hey, where it was said that a man child was born, man. Okay, he said what, man? Read it again. Job chapter 3. He said, as for the Job 3 and 6, as for the night, let darkness seize upon it. Let it not be joined unto the days of the year. Let it not come into the number of the months, man. That's celebrating birthdays, man. Okay? That's celebrating birthdays all day. You can't get around it, man. Okay, Job 1 and 4, and it said, and his sons went and feasted in their houses, every one his day, and sent and called for their three sisters to eat and drink with them. And it was so when the days of their feasting were gone about, that Job sent and sanctified them, and rose up early in the morning and offered burnt offerings according to the number of them all. For Job said, it may be that my sons have sinned and cursed power in their hearts. Thus did Job continually, man. Okay, so that means they was celebrating their birthday, man. And it's a sin to do that, man. Because it's a custom of the heathens, man. Like I read to you in Matthew 14 and 6, man. Herod was celebrating his birthday, man. Okay? And when the girl danced for him, man, she didn't know what to ask for when you read the story. And she wouldn't ask her mother, man. And she told her daughter to tell the king to give her John the Baptist's head, man. This is Jeremiah 10 and 1. Hear the word which the Lord Yahweh speak unto you, O house of Israel. Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. Learn not the way of the heathens, man. Point blank, period. It's just a little short lesson, man, going into how Jake loves celebrating their birthdays, man, which is wicked, man. Okay? Learn not the way of the heathen, man. I just read to you in Exodus 23 and 32, the Lord say, make no covenant with them or with their gods, man. With who? The heathens, man. Make no covenant with the heathens, man. Okay, when you start the voting, that's making a covenant with the heathen, man. Okay? You're not supposed to do that. It's wicked. So Lord's willing, this will edify. I want to say our praise to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shah, Bahashim Rekakwadash, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, who teach well. And a sincere salutation to all the ark pushing this truth throughout the four winds of the earth, waking up the hope for the elect. And shalom to the Akwal who are listening and learning. I got another precept. I got another precept I want to read. I got another precept I want to read. Matter of fact, two precepts. This is Amos. It just hit me just now. That spirit had to flow with it. Amos chapter 5, verse 21 reads, I hate, I despise. Let me read verse 20. Amos chapter 5 and 20. Shall not the day of the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh shall be darkness and not light, even very dark and no brightness in it? And it's talking about everybody that do wickedly and don't want to change from following the ways of the heathen, you're going to be destroyed in the day of the Lord, man. I hate, I despise your feast days, and I will not smell in your solemn assemblies. Though ye offer me burnt offerings and your meat offerings, I will not accept them, neither will I regard the peace offerings of your fat beasts. So, the Lord said, I despise your feast days, and I will not smell in your solemn assemblies, man. Now, what Job said his kids were doing what? Let's read it again, man. It just hit me too, man. This is Job chapter 1, verse 4. And his sons went and feasted in their houses, every one his day, and sent and called for their three sisters to eat and to drink with them. So it was so when the days of their feasting were gone about. Okay? Amos 5 and 20. Amos 5 and 21. I hate, this is the Lord say, I hate, I despise your feast days, which go into Thanksgiving, celebrating Christmas, because you always eat on Thanksgiving and Christmas, on July the 4th, okay? You're always celebrating Valentine and Mother's Day, any other cooking day that you want to cook on and gather the family together. Amos 5 and 21, I hate, I despise your feast days, and I will not smell in your solemn assemblies. Okay? The Lord hate these days, man. He hate that Jake celebrate these pagan holidays, man. Now this is Mark. This is Mark chapter 7 and verse. I'm gonna start at 7. In fact, I'm gonna start at 6. He answered and said unto them, well had Isaiah prophesied of you hypocrites, as it is written, this people honor me with their lips, but their heart is far from me. And this is the Lord saying, this is in the red. Howbeit in vain do they worship me, teaching for the doctrines of commandments of men. This is where you get this madness from wicked Israelites and wicked Edomites and other heathen nations. For laying aside the commandments of God, ye hold the tradition of men. For laying aside the commandments of God, you hold the tradition of men, man. And that's what our people do. They keep the tradition of men, man. Anytime you ask these old elderly folks, man, they always tell you, oh, well, it's a tradition. It's a tradition, and it's been passed down to the young jakes, man. And he said unto them, full well ye reject the commandments of God, that ye may keep your own traditions. These are not the tradition of the Lord, man. Celebrating birthdays is not a tradition of the Heavenly Father and His Son, man. Full well ye reject the commandments of God, that you may keep your own traditions, man. Okay? You keep your own traditions, man. This is Colossians chapter 2 verse 8, and it reads, beware lest any man spoil you through philosophies and vain deceit, after the tradition of men, after the rudiments of the world, and not after Hamashiach. So our peoples learn these things from these heathen nations, man. Okay? And they cleave to them like it's a tradition from the Most High. This is Isaiah chapter 29, verse 13. Wherefore the Lord said, for as much this people Draw near me with their mouth, and with their lips do honor me. And this is what Matthew was quoting. And with their lips do honor me, but have removed their heart far from me, and the fear towards me is taught by the precept of men. So you people out there following the customs of these heathen nations, that was taught by the precept of men, man. Okay, that wasn't taught by Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah. Period, man. You people is following wicked customs, man. And you're going to be destroyed for it. That's why the Lord said, Amos 9 and 10, all the sinners of my people shall die by the sword, man. Because you want to celebrate birthdays. And it's wicked, man. So with that, I'm going to give our praise to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shah, Bahashim Rakakodash, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who rule well, who teach well. And a sincere salutation to all the Akim, pushing their truth throughout the four winds of the earth, waking up the hopeful elect. Shalom to the Akwa for our listening and learning, which is the sisters. Shalom.